Hello, everybody. Um, just wanted to make a quick video. I just thought about this yesterday, a couple of days ago, and I thought it would be a great idea because many people aren't informed about this, and people think, "Oh, crazy person," or on many occasions it is, but I mean, in my occasion, it might and it might not be, depending on what part you sit on, you know. But yeah, I just wanted to make a video about it. Uh, if anybody knows me, I'm making this video on the floor. If anybody knows me, I'm a Christian. I've been a Christian for 5 years. Shoot, I feel like I'm making a blog or something, a documentary. Um, if anybody knows me, I've been a Christian for 5 years. My name is Felipe Mata. Um, I was diagnosed with schizophrenia a couple of years ago. Like when I was 16, I'm 23 right now. So future self. Um, I was diagnosed with schizophrenia. Not only schizophrenia, now that I think of it, but schiz, psychosis. When I was around 16, and back then I was a troubled teen. I was awful, the awful, mean of the mean. I mean, I would have to sit down a whole hour to explain everything, but I'm gonna try and be as quick as possible, if it is possible. Um, just want to get to the point of what schizophrenia is, at least for me. Um, Schizophrenia is something that causes your brain chemicals to not move, from what I understood, not move the correct way, or it's a chemical imbalance of your brain, in your brain. And for me, it has been an obstacle on many occasions, and I have had stories to tell about this. But basically, you lose touch with reality, of whether it be for a moment, for a couple of seconds, to 2 to 3 hours, which I'm gonna get to that with me. Um, yeah, you lose touch with reality, and for me, I feel drunk or even high at sometimes, which that doesn't cause me to not know what I'm doing, because I know what I'm doing completely. I'm guessing it's not to think of it like if you're high, but it sucks, because I mean, here I am drug free. Um, Here I am drug free, not doing none of that stuff, and here comes schizophrenia knocking on your door again, just messing with your life, and it sucks. And I'm not gonna lie, I've thought about suicide many times because I feel like I'm a man stuck in a broken body, and it sucks, because people have blamed me for it, which, yes, it might be my fault, because I mean, I was messing with the dark arts and a past point time, but it's not because I didn't choose to be like this. I mean, I am who I am. I've had people blame me and I mean, just make me feel awful about myself. And even at work, I work, and I've decided to work and at a big company, and I mean, it sucks. It's a beating. I give 101% because I give that 1% or two or three because it's more. I have to put more effort than a normal person would. I mean, sometimes. I mean, I have not lacked to show up. I have not lacked to present myself at work because I mean that's who I am, lechoganas. But I had to, I had to be onto dosing with caffeine at occasions because I mean I don't know if it's the medication or what, but it causes me to be really tired and sleepy. But yeah, I have even cried about it. I have learned that they're called crying spells, and that's from what I heard, or maybe I'm just a teardropper. I don't know, like smile I'll cry later. But what you call it? Yeah, I've cried about it at many points. I felt useless. I felt like I'm not worth it to a point of I am a Christian and I do feel guilty about it, but I have felt like committing suicide. And I remember I traveled to Florida at one point. Me and my girl were having arguments because of my whole symptoms. She was working and I was too tough to deal with because, of course, I wasn't under my medication for a couple of months and the whole world came crashing down on me. I mean, it was awful. I would hallucinate. I mean, I, I had mood swings. I mean, yeah, but the only person, I must say this, the only person that was there for me was God. And yeah, it sounds easy to say, but to actually have felt it is something different. It's something way different. What you call it? My girl wasn't there for me. I mean, it's not her fault. She was working a lot. It was a city where she would have to pay a lot of money because it's a expensive city. But sorry, Rumi's playing Grand Theft Auto. It's too into it, but um, it wasn't her fault. To be honest, it wasn't her fault. She was working a lot, but she wasn't there for me. There wasn't nothing she could do about it. All she could do was sleep while I hallucinated. I mean, I would call my family members, anybody who I could to just pass the high because it was just awful. I couldn't function. I would tear up for no reason and feeling useless. I remember I almost got hit by a cop car. The cop car in Florida, in Lehigh, in Florida. What you call it? I'm guessing he was attending to a call and he was going fast. I'm sure he saw me. I'm sure he saw me. I can't remember if I was wearing a white shirt or not, but it missed me by a couple of feet. Me getting out of the road just so slow that it missed me by a couple of feet, and maybe it was that willpower the one little hair of willpower that God left me or that God had provided for me because it was from Him. Or because if it was up to me, I would have stood in that road and would have gotten hit by that cop car. But that willpower just made me move, and, and moving on to the other time, I just teared up. It was time. It was a time where I had gone off my medication for a while, another while, a long while, like a couple of months, and yeah, I just had another crying spell. Not this time wasn't completely a crying spell. It was just that I felt useless. It's awful because it's you can you, you just don't feel like you function as the same human. I mean, you had mood swings. I had mood swings at that time, and I had into another fight with my girl, and this called her my better half. And I remember getting into a fight with her and telling her I didn't want to be with her no more. And because I felt like I was being an obstacle for her because she couldn't work, and me, I wasn't working at the time, and it was just hard because I couldn't, you know, function right mentally. I was just awful with the mood swings. I felt like I was bipolar. I could be happy one day and then mad the next second of the day. And I remember crying. I remember after she left, she I called her and I just started telling her, telling her off why this, why that, like, why am I feeling this? Like just crying, like bawling like a little kid. Maybe it was that my mom released me from being a tough man and not crying. I mean, because I remember when my mom passed away, she I cried and it just activated that switch. Like, hey, it's okay to cry and it's okay to it releases before exploding. Because I've been grown up like as in I can't cry. You're a man and you can't cry. And maybe that tough person that with the rough edges back then was saying that, but now I cried. But getting back at it, I remember tearing up. I couldn't even lift my face and look at the people because she was driving to work, and she was driving to work, and me bawling in the passenger side. Just why is this happening to me? Why? I what did I do to cause this? And like stuff like that, saying, what did I do to cause this? Who like it was? I'm guessing it was like that passage from the Bible where who sinned? Her mother, when Jesus told the from the blind man, who was born blind, who gave who was the fault of this man being what you call blind from birth? Who sinned, his mother or her father? And then Jesus answered, you know, it was for my glory, and maybe it was for his glory, for me to have these symptoms or go through that rough path of my devil worshiping life that caused me to have these symptoms, or maybe I had them before that, but or maybe I was born like this. Who knows? But I can't remember that far. But yeah, I was saying crying, and I remember I cried for an entire like 2 hours. I mean, I'm not proud to say this, but yeah, I cried for 2 hours because I just couldn't come down from that high. And as long as time progressed, that high just I didn't come down from it. Scary. It's scary. It's a scary feeling to just to think that I might not come down from the trip ever, and I may stay down. That's been my worst fear, not coming down, which I've always came down, but it's um it's a scary feeling, and no one should feel this feeling that they can be left in the clouds forever and never come down. And I remember I called the church brother, and he prayed for me. And I remember I didn't want to call him because people call me a liar for being a schizophrenic. That it's all in my head, and they don't understand what it's really like to be a schizophrenic. And I don't want to be like this, and people blame me for it. I remember the hermano, I called him, and he prayed for me, the brother in faith. And a couple of minutes later, I came down from the trip and I was like, wow, I just had to let it go. I remember hearing Jesus tell me, just let it go, I can take care of it. And me telling him, no, they're going to call me a liar. If you heal me, they're going to call me a liar and say it was all in my head. But no, that day, that brother in faith prayed for me. I remember with tears in my eyes and with a teary voice, he prayed for me, and I came down from the trip, and yeah, basically he prayed for me, and I remember getting home from that day, and my mother-in-law blamed it on me, like just basically spit it through it in my face. It's your fault, dude. You're like this, and I didn't, I didn't kill nobody to be like this. Even if, yeah, I didn't kill nobody. I didn't steal from nobody. But this is who I am, and I wouldn't blame it on no. I wouldn't put it on nobody, or want it to be some. How do you say it? I wouldn't wish it on nobody. But yeah, it's been difficult at work because schizo's it's a killer mentally, if it's by your own hands or not. But you're scared that people are gonna look at you as a crazy person. But no, I learned to disguise it very well. People don't even know I have it. I can be hallucinating and they won't know. I mean, I'm the same person. Maybe I get more quiet, more serious, but. And one thing I should mention, sometimes I can hear myself speaking, but in my own thought, I'm saying, what am I saying? And this is all while I'm speaking. I'm thinking these thoughts, and it's like my own mouth is saying what it wants to say, but my mind is still up in the clouds. Like I can hear my own voice coming out, but I don't know what I'm thinking. It's just, but I remember, was yeah. So if I have any difficult time making these videos, it's because, of course, I'm a schizophrenic, and sometimes I have a hard time communicating and explaining maybe a little bit. So if this was a hard video to what you call process, it's maybe because I'm not fully out there. But yeah, I mean, throughout the time, I mean, I've learned to smile, thank God. And even now I'm smiling, look at me. I mean, I'm no less of a man of a person from what I told my girl, and I'm still me, and I'm not different. I'm no serial killer, maybe back then, but no, God changes. I didn't kill nobody. Maybe I wanted to, but I mean that's anybody. But yeah, that's my video, and I think I took too long. Um, for anybody who was wondering what schizophrenia is, I mean, yeah, it's everybody processes it differently. Me, I've learned to live with it. Even working, I've learned to live with it, even if it's hard, and even if I fear getting fired because I trip out one day. I mean, nobody should feel that way. I mean, whoever has schizophrenia, I don't I don't know what you did in life. I don't know who did it to you. I don't know what you're going through. Well, maybe I do, but not completely in a way. I mean, there nobody to blame. Nobody should blame them for it. It's something that maybe they were born with, or that they develop. I heard it can be developed with depression. But yeah, it's going on for 20 minutes, so I'm gonna just quit this video and say Jesus is with you. God bless. Peace.